Hello there! This week on the U 2.0 podcast, we have a couple of bonus episodes coming your way. These are actually repurposed live streams that I did a week ago when I was inviting everyone into my Graduate from Good Vibes Only free class where I share all about how I manifested a massive jump in my income from $30K a year to $105K a year, all while I was in a depressive episode. And so this is a little bit about something that you should be thinking about if you are trying to manifest a life-changing result while your mental health is not great, because it is 100% possible. I've done it. I've helped lots of other people do it. And in this upcoming episode, I'm just going to share a little something that really worked for me. And then if you want the full 90-minute experience, the full Graduate from Good Vibes Only class, there is still time for you to get access to the recording. The recording expires on Monday, July 31st. So if you're listening to this episode on the day that it comes out or a couple days after, go ahead and go to the link down below and you will be able to grab access to the recording right away. Okay, love you so much and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hello, I wanted to come on here and kind of develop an idea that I've been thinking about in honor of the Graduate from Good Vibes Only free class that is happening on Monday, the 21st of July. I ran this class at the end of June, and while I was teaching it, there was something that came through for me. If you're intuitive, you'll understand. I just got an idea, and I had a way of articulating something that I had never thought about before in quite this way. And because I'm getting ready to teach this class again on Monday, and I always want to do better than I did before, I want to develop this idea and flesh it out a little bit more, and it just felt right to go live and talk through it and just process the idea a bit. And I know that as I talk about this, it'll also help you. So I figured win-win. I will think out loud. I'm definitely a verbal processor anyway. And as I talk through this, I hope it gives you something to process and think about. And if you want to have deeper conversations with me about this topic, about related topics, then you are more than invited to come hang out at Graduate from Good Vibes Only on Monday, the 21st. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I'm also going to be sending out the replay. So you will have access to that if you are not able to make it live. But anyway, the idea that came up is understanding that our nervous system can be in two different places, really, when we are thinking about and approaching manifestation. So our nervous system can either be in firefighter mode, where we're putting out fires, we're trying to solve problems. Basically, we have declared a state of emergency in our minds. Our bodies have responded accordingly. And we are approaching manifestation from this incredibly anxious, incredibly urgent place where everything feels very high stakes and where we're very critical of ourselves and where the results feel very life or death. And we basically believe that we need our manifestation to come, otherwise we're trapped, otherwise we're doomed. There's a lot of escapism involved. And that's the firefighter mode. But the other mode that we can be in is what I called the builder mode or the construction mode. And that's the mode where we are actually focusing on what we want to cultivate, what we want to create. And we are approaching the manifestation from the perspective of, here is what I want to build, and here is how I'm going to build it. And here's what I need in order to build this, and here's my plan for building it. And you're very focused on what you are creating rather than what you are preventing or what you are doing, what is it called? Problem solving, or there's a word, a damage control. There we go. You're not in damage control mode. You are in the mode of, this is what I'm creating. And what came up during this class when I was teaching it at the end of June was really this idea that you can't be in both modes at the same time, in the same way that when we think about the people who put out fires and the people who address catastrophes and who solve problems, like the disaster relief people, the first responders of the world, that is a different skill set, and those are entirely different people than the people who we call when we want to build a house, when we want to create something new. The people who respond to destruction and respond to devastation are not the same people who build and who create and who construct. And manifestation really is about cultivating something new. And even if we're in a life circumstance that feels urgent and hard and full of pressure, that is not the energy that is going to help us manifest a new scenario. And so as you're listening to this, you might be like, well, Samara, my nervous system is of course feeling pressure, and of course I'm feeling this like firefighter urgency because I don't like the situation I'm in. And because the situation I'm in is unfamiliar to me and it's unpredictable and I don't know what's going to happen next and I don't know how long I can make it like this. And of course, you have circumstances and you have particulars and details that are supporting you in believing this is really hard, I need to escape, this is urgent, and if my manifestation doesn't come by tomorrow, then I am screwed, right? Like, that all feels very logical and it feels very reasonable, especially depending on your life and what your circumstances have been and what your past has been with your mental health and with trauma. And there's like obviously a lot there, and that's why I like to work with people more deeply so that I can, you know, better understand your specific situation. But for the sake of like speaking to the general public, speaking to whoever might be listening to this, when you notice yourself going to that firefighter mode and you're trying to prevent a catastrophe or address a catastrophe that you see happening, and you're basically in like disaster response mode, what you need most is not actually manifestation. That's not going to help you in that scenario. What you need most is more nervous system care. You need regulation tools. You need a support that is more about holding space for your emotions, letting them move through you, hearing the thoughts that are behind those emotions, and deciding what you're gonna do based on how you're feeling and the thoughts you're thinking. And so trying to manifest a solution is not actually what is the most supportive to you in that moment. And on the flip side, when you are deciding what your next chapter is going to be, when you are in creation mode, what you want to do is you want to protect that by actively reminding yourself that there is no emergency if you don't hit this goal right away. Like if you set a goal, I have a client right now who's working on $4,000 a month in her spiritual business. And that's like what her milestone is. And one thing that we talked about when she first set this goal was there actually is no emergency if you don't hit this goal. Like it does not need to feel high stakes. There does not need to be a sense of pressure around it. Let's connect to why you want this. Let's connect to what are the amazing things that will be available because of this. Let's connect to how great it will feel to help people and to help people at a deeper level and to be doing this work with more people. Like, let's connect to all the good stuff that's going to happen once you're there, but let's not go into and it needs to happen now or else. And if it doesn't happen, then here's everything that's wrong. And like the escapism place. And it is your job when you're manifesting something new into your life, or when you're manifesting your next chapter, it is your job to be mindful of, am I positioning this as disaster relief? Am I positioning this as, you know, something that needs to happen soon because otherwise I'm screwed? Am I looking at it through the firefighter lens? And if you notice that you're looking at it through the firefighter lens, again, what you need is to take care of your nervous system. And when I say take care of your nervous system, some of the things that I would recommend are doing a brain dump in your journal of all the thoughts that are going through your head about this situation. and then looking at them and acknowledging them, holding space, letting them be real, no trying to argue with them, right? Like sometimes with manifestation there's a lot of like, let's reframe these thoughts and what else is there, and like trying to kind of shift the thoughts. But when you're really in that like firefighter mode, what you want to do is not try to shift the thoughts. You just want to honor them and respect them, love them. You can even like go into a new page in your journal and start writing compassionate thoughts towards yourself of like, I see that you're feeling this way, and I see how hard this is, and I understand that this is really difficult, and I'm like, just however you would talk to a friend or a loved one who was having those thoughts. I'm trying to explain this in a way that like is actionable to you, while also recognizing that like, if you have questions, you can't ask me. That is always the trick with this content. But like, this is really how I would tell someone to do it. Like, brain dump all of your thoughts of fear and anxiety and like whatever's making you feel like you have to go into that firefighter mode. Write it all out, and then on the next page, or like, you know, beneath that, write out compassion and acceptance, and practice having a lot of unconditional love for yourself, and get yourself to the place where you are on your own team, where you believe that you have your own back, and where you feel so safe in the situation that you do not feel the urgent need for that situation to change tomorrow. And that's like, that might take some presence, that might take some repetition. You might have to do that day after day after day, or twice a day, depending on your situation and your nervous system. And it's going to require you to really be patient and to change your relationship with yourself. And really what you're doing in those times is you're cultivating a sense of like your own inner protector, which is what you're looking for in those moments. It's not so much that you're looking for a first responder or a disaster relief energy, but you're just looking to feel safe. And one of the things that I talk about with my clients is like cultivating that internal sense of safety that doesn't depend on your circumstances, because we all need that. Like, life is hard, and there are a lot of crazy circumstances that people find themselves in. And I think one of the best gifts that we can give ourselves is knowing how to help ourselves feel safe, even when things are really hard, and even when they're unpredictable, and even when they're unexpected. Like, we get to cultivate that anchor for ourselves, and that is work. Like, that's a real journey that we all have to go on, or that we're all invited to go on, because the truth is a lot of people never do this work. But if you're listening to this and if you're resonating, I think you're being invited to do this work. And I really want to call you up and invite you, like, sit with yourself and listen to your thoughts, listen and write them out and look at them, and then be compassionate towards them and hold space for them, and commit to being on your own team even before your situation changes. And what that actually does is it opens up space around the manifestation, because you're not gripping it so hard, you're not trying to force it, and you're not looking at your manifestation as if it has to save you. You're not looking at your manifestation as if it is responsible for your well-being, or as if it is responsible for your quality of life even, because quality of life is so internal. There are people with countless material possessions and infinite amounts of like opportunity, but they do not have a high quality of life because their internal state is not open and is not present, and they are not fulfilled within themselves. And so look at where you are making your manifestation responsible for your sense of safety, for your sense of well-being, for your sense of quality of life, for your sense of fulfillment, for your sense of hope, like whatever it is, and give that to yourself like daily, and make it a devotion of yours to give yourself those emotions and to give yourself that presence and to provide that for yourself. And that allows the manifestation to feel a lot more neutral and a lot more of like a logistical thing rather than a big emotional thing. And once you're not putting so much emotional pressure on your manifestation, and once it starts to just feel like a neutral option that you have, rather than like a deep unmet need that you are, trying to fill, then you can be more calm and more grounded and more creative. And you can naturally shift into that building mode of like, how do I want this to look? Wouldn't it be cool if it looked this way? Wouldn't it be cool if it felt this way? Like, what are the specifics here? What's my ideal way of doing this? Like, and you can get to that manifestation place, but the manifestation will be a lot smoother and will feel a lot better and will be a lot more effective when you are coming at it from this grounded, creative, parasympathetic nervous system place, rather than from the intense fight or flight firefighter place. Okay, that was the idea that I wanted to flesh out for you. I will have a lot more to say on this on Monday during Graduate from Good Vibes Only. I'll probably go live a couple more times until then with other ideas and concepts, because I really just want to make this class the best one I've ever done. And I tend to teach my best when I have practiced articulating the ideas and said them in different ways and like thought through them differently. So I might be using this live stream space to process some more thoughts. If you want the complete version, then I would love to see you on Monday. If you have questions for me about any of this, I would love to see you on Monday. And if you want personal support and guidance and you want some help applying this to your life, I would definitely encourage you to sign up for Monday's class, because we're going to have Q&A time. So we'll meet for 90 minutes and I'll teach for maybe like 60, 70 minutes. And then at the end, we'll have time for coaching, and you'll be able to raise your hand, and if time permits, you'll be able to get coached, and we can talk through exactly how these ideas apply to your life and to your manifestations. So I'm excited for it. I hope you're excited for it too. I would love to see you there. The link is in my bio, and until then, I will see you again very soon. Take care.